Divorce is in the air because Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner have also gone through some divorce going on, everybody. So we've been talking about divorce. We might as well jump ahead to this one. But Joe Jonas filed for divorce. That's right, last week. And apparently... Who's that girl?
The queen of the Jonas Brothers.
The queen of the North, right? The queen of the North.
Sophie Turner from
Game of Thrones. Yep, Game of Thrones.
On the Queen of the North.
But the Queen of the North is leaving the third Jonas. Oh, I should say the third Jonas is leaving the Queen of the North because he filed for divorce. And apparently they've been having problems.
Does he not know that the North remembers? What's wrong with him?
I will tell you, Jacob. I will tell you.
Have eyeballs? Look at her.
We'll get into that. We'll get into it. Give him the facts first.
He's actually having to look up to her.
The facts that we know, and maybe this is still gossip. It's probably a little hot gossip, but apparently for the past 6 months, they've been having issues. The past 3 months, he's been on tour with his brothers, and they've been saying that he's been touring around with the girls too. They have a daughter who's 3 and a daughter who's 1. And after the second daughter was born, and they haven't even said what the second daughter's name is yet publicly, so we have no idea. But when the daughter was born, apparently they said, hey. Yeah, he's a Jonas brother. So they were saying that, when the second daughter was born, that maybe she would go along with the tour. And she's like, well, I'm going to go back to my acting career. Well, she went back to act in the UK. She was working on a crime series called Joan in the UK.
Right into JR.
Yeah. He married way up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But he was touring. She was shooting her show. This is what happens in Hollywood a lot of times, different schedules. And that's what they're saying it came down to. It's just that they had just like the different lives, She wanted to keep acting. He wanted her to tour. They were having problems for the past 3 months. Well, they were saying 6 months, 3 months, they were separate. But they had a nice picture apparently on Instagram in August, right before Labor Day. Then Labor Day weekend, shit went down. Apparently his brother sat down with him and had an intervention and said, you need to leave her. She was saying she was going to come back from the UK. They should work it out, but he filed for divorce. Now, this is a whole thing.
Pansy. Come on, commitment, bro. Get in there.
But Jacob, he was saying they were broken, Jacob.
What the hell, man?
I know, but he was saying they were broke. And here's the statement that after he said they were broke, they put a statement out. Here's what they said, a collective statement that after 4 wonderful years of marriage, we have mutually decided to amicably end our marriage. There are many speculative narratives as to why, but truly this is a united decision. And we sincerely hope that everyone can respect our wishes for privacy for us and our children.
When I mean, these guys, I just think of South Park. That's all I think of.
Mickey Mouse coming down and tell him to wear the rings.
That's all I fucking think of.
His Millennium Falcon.
And you know what? All this shit right here, all this little bullshit, him being a little fucking man syndrome and not just having the understanding of what a commitment means and talking to your wife and knowing that you hit a bump in your road. You've been married for maybe less than 5 years. You hit a little bump.
4 years. 4 years.
We can't do it. I have to walk away now. You fucking bitch.
Well, they were saying, his brothers were saying he was very unhappy and they've been fighting for a while. And it's, I think really what it comes down to, and the lawyers, let me talk about the law too. They have a prenup. So for all of his money from all of his records and stuff, he's keeping all the rights for that. All of her, she's keeping, and they're just separating the stuff they had when they got married. They just sold their house for $15 million in August.
You walk out with you walked in with, and anything you gain together, you split.
She's worth $10 million. He's worth 50.
If it turns out that she was actually extremely abusive to him, I'll walk back everything I said about him.
She wasn't.
But it wasn't that. It wasn't that though, Jacob. It doesn't. It just sounds like it was a scheduling thing.
A scheduling thing. Yeah. Okay.
The shit that he's been leaking out to the paparazzi is fucking disgusting. And he really thought he was going to win this one. He was out there be like, she's such a bad mom. She's neglectful to the kids.
He Amber Hearded her. He Amber Hearded her. That's fucked up. He pulled it in.
Amber Hearded her.
That's a thing, right? We say that now. That's a thing.
Sure, absolutely.
But he was the Amber.
That's what I'm saying. He Amber Hearded her.
But
she got Johnny
was basically
Depp
going around. She got postpartum depression after she had her kid, and he was talking shit about how she didn't want to go out and party because she was more of a homebody and had postpartum depression, and he just really came at this like it was still when he was actually popular and relevant back in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And culture has changed. So he's really trying to attack her on all these things and he's just fucking losing. And it's just disgusting how he's acting. And they have done, especially her, they have done such a good job to try and keep their kids' privacy intact.
Mm-hmm.
And last week he went out and had the paparazzi come take pictures of them with the kids.
Oh, that's messed up.
And like that is so fucked up. Because like
this video I'm watching is fucked up.
These kids
Oh my
deserve
God.
privacy, and it's just ridiculous the way that he's using them to get good press.
Yeah, Rachel, that's not right though. I mean,
I'm sorry, Queen, that's fucked up.
Yeah, nobody needs to be hurted. But
no one needs to be hurted.
No, and I heard about that too, Rachel. It sounds like he was trying to blast her, and then she was trying to say. Apparently, people are. I mean, he said, she said, what? I know she has said.
She has said nothing.
She said nothing.
Yeah. She said nothing.
She has said nothing. But
listen, say what you will about Sabrina's love for royalty, but I will say this: that lady is a proper Brit.
The fuck is that the thing about it?
I know you love British royalty, and I was saying
I don't love British royalty. I just respect people's fucking views and their institution.
She is a proper Brit. She's awesome.
I didn't sit up all night and watch the coronation. I respect people and what they believe.
She's handling this with grace and kindness, and I appreciate that from her. There's also something to be said about the fact that he got with her when she was 19.
How old is he? Isn't he 19?
And he's like significantly older than her.
He's 32 right now, or no, 32 or 34, and she's 27.
He's like 10 years older than her.
Well, that's what happened. She aged out. I guess he forgot when you marry someone, they still get older. So that's what happened.
Right.
What happened? If he has an MO,
he's 34. 34, and she's 27. But to put that stuff out there, well, the rumors going around was that she was upset though, and she was trying to reach out to him to be like, let's work this out. She's in the UK shooting. They had a rap party. They were trying to trash talk. She's at a rap party, like taking care of the kids, and she's out partying all night.
Painting her as a bad mom.
Yeah, that's rap parties. And they mutually agreed. But Rachel, they mutually agreed that she would go to do this project too, that it was fine for her to go back to work. And then I guess he was upset. I mean, this is what happens again. I don't want to blame anybody, but people working in the entertainment industry, like rock stars, actors, whatever you are, the job is very demanding. The time away, sports players, a lot of times it's hard to have that connection to be together, and marriages fall apart. And that's the one thing they were trying to say as a collective. That,
too, like we were mentioning with the last segment, like people just don't work on their relationships anymore. People just give up on their relationships.
Yep, and they move on. Like, that's it. Unfortunately.
They dated for 3 years before they got married. And then they got married. They've been married for 4 years, right?
4 years, yeah.
So, that's 7 years. That's actually a pretty decent run for a Hollywood couple. I don't appreciate. They have a 1 year old, like a baby.
Yeah.
And the other one's 4. The other kid's 4?
3.
3. Oh.
I think 3.
I mean, geez, like that's. If things were going south and you have it, then why would you have another baby? I don't know. Not my problem. The point is, he basically tried to frame her as a bad mom by as Rachel said, like that he showed them having lunch somewhere like in public, like on purpose to make it seem like she was neglecting her duties as a mother. And let's be clear, they're both working people. She's in the UK overseas working on a show, which takes up between 12 and 18 hours a day of your time. Mm-hmm. He is on a tour, which takes up, 5 hours of your time, and not every day. Right. So doesn't it stand that it would be logical for the father to have the children and take them on the road and go on tour with them? Because she is going to have a nanny watch the kids pretty much for the entire shoot, except for maybe for a few hours on a Saturday or Sunday after she wakes up from her exhausting week. Yeah. And that is what the entertainment industry is. So if you both choose to work, it's going to shift. Oh, I'm not doing any shows right now. I'll stay home with the kids. You're touring. Great. Good for you. They're both working. It makes sense that he would be with the kids and she would not be with the kids. It's absurd the way that people think sometimes.
I'm sure he thought that she was going to quit her career when they got married because he's
ridiculous. Because he's a Jonas Brothers.
He's with the Jonas Brothers. They have always focused on fundamentalist values. That was the whole purity ring thing. So
yeah,
I'm sure as a fundamentalist, he thought she was going to stay home and be his little wifey.
Do you remember they roasted him and this was like way back when, and she basically was like mocking the purity ring, and she was like, well, he was sure he has a purity ring on, but he was definitely sticking his fingers inside his castmates. Like literally those words. and he married her. So I don't know how much about that purity ring that she, you know, she let him know what she thought about that bullshit. Okay,
Right. But just
Jacob knows.
I'm not saying anything about the rings or anything, but coming from that fundamentalist culture, there's certain expectations they have of their wives, and she is a modern woman and didn't meet them, and now he's mad.
there's certain expectations.
Oh,
of
what? He got with a real woman, a real human being?
Yeah.
Wow. He didn't know how to handle that?
Lexi,
What a
Brian,
fucking
drink.
turd.
Okay.
She put her
Oh, and Jacob also did it.
Did what?
Yep.
she
She
put
did.
her
I'm just-
career on hold to
Drink.
have those kids when it was at its peak, right after Game of
It's
Thrones
true.
ended.
Yeah.
She put her career on
And then X-Men being, I mean, even though those movies like
Those
didn't
movies
do
didn't
as
do
well,
great, huh?
like she was
Jean
front,
Grey was not, it wasn't,
but she was still front and center for that Dark Phoenix shit.
wasn't successful.
Front and center, and who knows if it wasn't acquired by Disney, and they're still not working that out. They still haven't worked that out. We have no idea what X-Men are going to be coming. If the first class people will come in, they might come in, and she might be a part of that.
Deadpool, so look out for that.
You never know. They're all gonna be in Deadpool right now. Breaking news! Everybody's there. We're talking about she's in it. No, I mean we have no idea, but it's just sad because this is what happens in Hollywood a lot of times. And again, regardless of like how maybe like his idea of like we were saying, like maybe his idea with the whole purity rings and stuff like that is like the wife to be home. Who knows? Purity.
Gotta keep them feet pure.
Yes.
Awesome.
I love it.